All right, here we are at it again. We're gonna look at the rear brakes on this thing. The history is I put different axles on this truck from an 85 K30 military truck. Those axles, they're 1-ton axles, 456 gears, drum brakes. You know, when I did the axle swap, I just had to get it done fast. So I never folded the brakes, never even pulled the drums. So we're gonna pull the drums today and we're gonna look at it. And while we're in there, we're gonna check on the e-brake. We're gonna get the e-brake working. We're gonna just get new hardware kit, new linings, you know, different. We gotta pull the axle out to get this drum off. So hopefully everything comes out and we'll get her done. We'll start on it. Let's go. Okay, what you gotta do is you gotta pull the axle shaft out, crack all these bolts loose for the axle. Just make sure they're loose before I jack the truck up. We're gonna get that cracked open and keep on rolling. So the whole axle is connected to this outside flange here, and it'll slide out. It'll come out quite a bit, half of the width of the truck. Let's see if it comes out here. There you go. So you want a drip pan, slide the axle out. All right, now that you got the axle out, the next step is you got to rip out this snap ring or retaining clip, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. So you take this clip out. Right there. I like to lay that thing down there. Now, there is some keys. You gotta take them out, one of them out. Keeps the hub nut locked in. You're gonna need a special tool. It's 2 5/8 is the measurement. It's to the outside. It's a 6-pin axle hub nut socket. See how she comes off there? Just spins off, see? Alright, lay that down right there. And there she is. Let's see what we can get her out. My gut feeling is this job is not gonna be easy. That's just my gut feeling. What the hell? It shouldn't be this easy. Come on. Nothing's ever this easy. It's gonna be a heavy son of a bick. Wheel is faster over here. Put that in there. All over the goddamn place. Got the cat piss everywhere. My dad says that gear lube smells like cat piss, so the cats are pissing today. Marking their territory. Alright, this is the first time looking inside of these at the brakes here. And everything's there. I can see the e-brake's hooked up. Curious to see what that action looks like. It actually doesn't look terrible. The shoes the linings are a little low on them. Definitely need replacements from what it looks like. I mean, it ain't on metal, but it looks a little crusty and rusty. Isn't too bad though, isn't too bad. Well, with this full floating 14-bolt full floating axle, the drums, the bearings are pressed, well, are right built into the drum. So the inner and outer bearing are in there. This is the drum, the back side of the drum. The seals are pressed in right on the outside here. Bearing sits in there and then the seal on the outside. I couldn't get the seal out with a slide hammer, so you have to flip the drums upside down from what they're showing here and take a punch and pound the bearings out, and the seal came out with it. All right, change of plans. So it's a couple days later. After looking into all the parts, I need to get the drums resurfaced. If they're within spec, might even need to get them replaced. They're not the cheapest drums in the world. And by the time getting all the components for the brakes, shoes, spring kit, everything, I kept stumbling upon disc brake conversions. Well, kind of just Never really thought about it. I figured it would be a hefty price tag, and in reality it's only $100 more maybe, just to do disc brake, rear disc brake conversion for this axle. So that's where we're gonna go. So this project's kind of gonna go on hold, and I know I didn't film it, but I got the new seals, got the new wheel seals, installed them back into the existing drums. I broke the star wheel free, the drum brake adjustment in the back, because it was seized, it was rusted. You couldn't get back in there with a screwdriver and adjust the brake. So I broke it free, lubed it up with some oil, so now I can get in there and adjust it. And I got the drums back. Let me get you this way here. We got the drums back on. Everything's back together, as you can see. Got the clown tires on it. Let's get a visual. Let's go full frontal on it. Oh yeah, clown tires in all its glory. All right. So another note. E-brake. Right here, what do we got? So we get the lights. Can you guys see? You guys can't see. So the e-brake, it actually functions. The cables are not seized. I cannot believe it. I've never pushed the e-brake ever in this truck. And those e-brake cables are, I'm gonna say at least, I haven't pushed them in 10 years. I never pushed the e-brake, didn't want it to get stuck on. So right now, we're just gonna jack this thing up. I wanna adjust the brakes, and I'll show you how I do it. It works for me. Never ever adjusted the rear brakes in this truck. So let's get to it. So I didn't explain. So I put everything back together, put the drums back on. Everything looks decent in there. I'm gonna adjust the brakes because they were hitting really hard. It would slam, like they weren't adjusted right, and they needed to be adjusted. So I got that free so I can adjust them. I put the old drums back on with new wheel seals just so it doesn't leak, because I ruined them or getting them out, which I also didn't show you, sorry. Put it all back together, adjust the drum brakes, and hopefully that'll be enough to just drive it around, move it, whatever. They work. It's not like they're a complete failure. So I'm gonna milk this one, let her go. So back the truck up. Now I broke loose all the 8 bolts here for the axle. Slid the axle out just so that it's disengaged from the differential, and now she free spins. It's right on the bearings. So it's a good way to adjust the brakes, because now you can have complete free spooling, and then I'll adjust them as soon as I'll spin it about like that. If I get one complete revolution and it stops, that's about where I'll keep it. So now we are on the back side of the drum, the backing plate here, and right here is this little punch out that I just did, and that's where you can access the star wheel. Now I can't show you guys, but you can get a flashlight and look at yours if you're not familiar with how to do this. But what I'll do is I'll just spin the tire. You want to grab the star wheel and then push it down, and that should tighten it. Took the screwdriver and adjusted that star wheel so that it's about this much. 1 revolution roughly for a good spin. So I'll slam that axle back in there and reinstall everything. Do the other side.